up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past few days. We do have a lot of topics to discuss. Firstly, Deco and the sporting director and CEO of Royal Antwerp, Marc Overmars, former Barcelona player as well, did have a meeting last Tuesday before the match to discuss the future of Arthur Vermeern. We do have the updates and details of that meeting. And alongside Arthur Vermeeren, the club are also planning the permanent transfers of both Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo. They've already gotten the initial prices from both Atletico Madrid and Man City, and now it's down to Barcelona to decide whether or not they want to pursue these transfers or not. We've had two huge renewal updates over the past few days as well. Both Alejandro, Balde, and the renewal of Xavi have been made official. We'll give you guys the updates and also the quotes around that as well. And finally, we have two absolutely crucial updates on the future injury-wise on Vitor Roque and Frenkie de Jong, who both over the past few days suffered very severe long-term injuries. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by the Barca merch store. The Barca merch store is a new online website with everything Barcelona gear. It is a Barcelona-inspired design for all culés around the world. I do have some items today. Firstly, we do have a Més que un club t-shirt. And I'll tell you what, the qualities are very good. This is, top drawer stuff, as if I bought it from the Barcelona store itself. Next up, I have a tank top with the year Barcelona was founded, of course, 1899 in November. And also my favorite one, we have a Xavi Bull shirt, which of course the meaning behind it is that Xavi is a beast. There's a variety of different designs, different colors, anything that will suit any culé around the world. Now, this website was founded by the undefeated Mustache John, who is of course a Barcelona creator. I'm going to leave his link in the top of the description, along with of course the Barca merch store as well. Make sure you check them both out. Fantastic quality, and I promise you, you won't regret it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past few days. Now, the only player that we have been linked with is a possible signing for the future in the pivot position, and the name is, of course, Arthur Vermeeren. This is coming in from Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo, and he's come out saying that Deco and Marc Overmars did in fact talk about Arthur Vermeeren during the board lunch on the previous Tuesday, but they did not go into exact figures. Barcelona do like him, but will continue to monitor him throughout the season before making a decision. Now, before the match against Royal Antwerp, Deco was asked if he likes Vermeeren. Are there talks? Though, you know what, we're interested in a lot of players. We'll wait and see. Again, now the talks have been confirmed. He did speak with Marc Overmars over the possibility of getting a deal done for Arthur Vermeeren, but they did not talk exact transfer figures on the fee. We are hearing again that the fee will be around 20 to 30 million euros, and that is a big gamble for Barcelona to invest in. So we'll wait and see what happens with Vermeeren. Again, the club are still following him heavily and seeing his development through the season. Again, we're going to face him, I think, December 13th. The final match of the group stages is away in Belgium at Royal Antwerp. I think he did alright in the first match at the Estadio Luis Campos Stadium. Again, he'll have another audition in a few months' time. But again, Barcelona are still tracking the development of Arthur Vermeeren. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates surrounding Barcelona as a whole, the club. Now, I do usually leave this to later on in the video, but we have two absolutely crucial injury updates that we have to discuss. Firstly, a player who was expected to join Barcelona in January, Vitor Roque, who did have a crucial injury a few days ago. I believe it was Thursday night when he was playing, and he was taken out from behind the back. A clearly tactical foul, was not going for the ball whatsoever, takes out Vitor Roque, and he has been injured. Now, I tell you what, from Thursday evening till Friday afternoon, the reports on the duration of Vitor Roque's injury were ridiculous. I heard 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, 40 days, a week, 2 weeks. I even heard there was no injury. It was all over the place, but we do have a general consensus. We're waiting for the main report, of course, from Joaquin Pereira, who is the #1 source in regards to Brazilian players around Barcelona, and he came out saying that Vitor Roque will not play again in 2023. The injury affected 2 ligaments in his right ankle. At this lab, Atletico Madrid's medical services are in contact with Barcelona doctors and will be evaluating whether a surgical intervention would be necessary or if a conservative treatment is opted for. Communications between the two clubs is fluid and consistent, and Vitor Roque will be out for around 8 weeks, which of course is equivalent to around 2 months. Now, Tony Juan Marti came out saying that Vitor Roque has already played his last match for Atletico Madrid. He has torn 2 out of the 3 ligaments in his ankle. He will be a joint meeting soon with Barcelona included to decide if the player will have surgery or not. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Atletico Madrid expects Vitor Roque to be back in a minimum of 30 to 40 days, which of course around a month and a half. So we're hearing a month to around 3 months is a duration for Vitor Roque's injury, but again, Atletico Madrid have confirmed his injury, and they also have confirmed that he has taken the conservative route. Official, Vitor Roque underwent tests on Friday after spraining his ankle in the game against Internazionale. Ligament injury to the right ankle was found without the need for surgical intervention, announces Atletico Madrid. So again, Vitor Roque is taking the conservative treatment, and he will be out for around 2 or 3 months. He most likely will not play for the Brazilian club again. Will he join Barcelona or not in January? I think this will honestly speed up the process. Again, he's not with us now, which is a good thing. We're not going to be paying his wages while he's injured, which is a good thing. But will the club register him once he's fully fit? Will the club register him at all? Will let him, recoup and reevaluate and get back to his peak in Brazil? I have no idea, but I still think the plan is to bring Vitor Roque in January, as Barcelona did have a lot of say in regards to the treatment plan of the player as well. So we'll wait and see how things develop over the next few weeks. But again, Vitor Roque ruled out for the rest of 2023, but is still expected to join Barcelona in 2024 in January. But he'll be coming fresh off of an injury. He won't be coming in fully fit. The next injury update is one that we suffered last night, and is a crucial injury for the first team of Barcelona, and that is Frenkie de Jong, and we do have reports coming in about the duration of his injury. Henrico from Kobe came out saying that Frenkie de Jong has a problem in his right ankle. Tony Juan Marti came out saying that Frenkie de Jong will be out until at least November. Big blow for Xavi's squad. And Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Frenkie de Jong is expected to be out for around 5 to 7 weeks with an ankle sprain, and he will 100% miss the El Clasico at the end of next month. So we are expecting that Frenkie de Jong will return around the beginning or middle of December. He will miss the entirety of October. Of course, there is that international break, which does benefit Barcelona a little bit. So he'll miss, of course, Mallorca, Sevilla, Porto, I think both legs for Shakhtar, Clasico, and another league game as well. Absolutely huge blow for the Barcelona first team. Now, we saw in the match that Frenkie de Jong did pull up when Celta Vigo scored their first goal. He then played on for about 10 minutes, and then he came off. Xavi said that Frenkie de Jong, after the match, of course, in his post-match press conference, Xavi said that Frenkie de Jong didn't request a substitution at the beginning, but then later he felt discomfort, and let's hope it's something minor. Unfortunately, it was not minor. Later in the night, of course, last night, Barcelona officially announced that tests carried out confirmed that Frenkie de Jong has an ankle injury. He's out for now, and the evaluation of his injury will mark his availability. Again, the rumor is about 5 to 7 weeks, which is around about 2 months. Massive blow. I mean, it is such a big blow to the point that I'm a bit worried, because now we only have 3 fit midfielders. Romeo, Gundogan, and Gavi. We're talking about the beginning of the summer. Oh, we have Pedri, de Jong, Gundogan, Gavi, Romeo. What's gonna happen? Who's gonna be, who's gonna be upset on the bench? And look at it now. Now for the huge opportunity now for Fermin Lopez. He's gonna get a lot of minutes from now until the beginning of November, and it's now up to him to take advantage. Because again, he's our only rotation in the midfield now, and it's not really concerning, because it is a bit concerning, because I'll tell you what, you know who we'll see a lot in that midfield? Sergi Roberto. So I mean, it is what it is. Very disappointing. I think this injury could have easily been prevented. I don't even think Frenkie de Jong should have started the match against Celta Vigo. I think a lot of you guys agree with me on that, but we'll wait and see how things develop over the next few weeks. Maybe he might come back earlier, but again, the timeline is around 1.5 to 2 months for Frenkie de Jong. Now, I know this is an injury section, but we do have a minor, very minor contract renewal update on Frenkie de Jong, as Deco did mention about him before the match. He was asked about Frenkie de Jong's renewals. That Frenkie de Jong still has a contract for 2 more years. He's the future of the club. We want him to stay with us for many more years. Does that really confirm that talks are on? I'm not quite too sure. Deco sounds a bit conservative there, but again, the club do love Frenkie. They do want to renew his contract. He still has 2 more years left. So I think he's trying to say that Barcelona are in somewhat of a comfortable situation. We don't have to rush it too much, but again, the talks should be beginning. So we'll wait and see how things develop there. But hopefully we can do some talks while he's injured. He's injured, so might as well just get those going straight away. But again, cannot stress how massive a blow this is. Frenkie de Jong is top 2 most important and on form Barcelona players this season, alongside Jules Koundé, and losing him, it's a catastrophic blow. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. We have 2 finally official renewals. Firstly, of course, is Alejandro Balde. His renewal was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, made official on Thursday or Friday. And of course, he did have his I think it was made official, sorry, on Thursday. Then on Friday, he did have, no, he didn't. He had a presentation on Thursday, and I think it was announced Wednesday. Anyways, Alejandro Balde got his presentation. Of course, this was a plan before he even went out on the US tour. The club wanted to give him a presentation like they did with, of course, Pedri, Xavi, Ansu Fati, Araujo, and I think it's fully deserved for Alejandro. We do have some quotes during his presentation. Alejandro Balde came out saying that I've been at the club for 13 years and I have good memories. When I arrived here when I was 6 or 7 years old, my dream was to reach the first team, and now that dream has come true. Thank you to the people who have helped me in the process, especially for my family, and also to you, the president and the coach. Balde was then asked on Deco, saying that thanks for Deco, he's a great football management team and his facilities for this renovation. He's then asked about the first team, so it's always in my mind, but in the end you see it as very complicated because it's a long road with many sacrifices and not many child can fulfill their dream. In the end, with the work and effort, it has been achieved. Then asked about his goals in the upcoming year. I hope to continue contributing as I have been before. I'm only 19 years old. I have a lot to improve and learn. In 5 years, I'll be 24. I'll still be very young, and I hope to be here for many more years. On the start of the season, we started very well. We have an incredible team with incredible talent. On a personal level, my goal is to continue improving this season. And finally, he was asked on wearing Pique's iconic number 3, saying that number 3 is not a burden. Each player has their own story, and the 3 is an important number that Xavi has worn and has been a reference for all the young people in the club. So very professional speaking from Alejandro Balde, who's only again 19 years old. We do have some quotes from the president. Laporta said on Balde's renewal, I want to thank everyone around the player for making it possible. And he's an example of a young boy who reaches the first team he's an example of a young boy from the academy reaching the first team. He then asked, and then he was speaking about his families and many thanks to his parents and his family for everything that he's done for taught Alejandro. Like my grandmother as well, who's come from the Dominican Republic, and his grandmother, she was on a wheelchair. She flew all the way, I think that's like what, 7,000 miles, something like that, to come for his renewal presentation. I also want to thank all the representatives of Barcelona's grassroots and football team as well. It's an historic day for Barcelona fans. Balde has been known for Barcelona since he was 13 years old. He loves and he knows what Barcelona represents. Thank you very much, Alejandro. Congratulations, and you may have many success here. Becoming success will be with Barcelona. And on finding ending words, I want to highlight that Balde is committed to the club and the foundation, and the one player who's willing to help and save a lot about you, Alejandro. So again, very iconic moment, very historic moment, and hopefully it won't be the last renewal ceremony for Balde as he does renew in the future, but he is set in stone for at least until 2028. The next official renewal is the renewal of the first team manager, Xavi Hernandez, who has put pen and paper on a 1-year extension with an option of another year, and this was announced around Friday evening at Barcelona's headquarters. After Xavi's press conference in the afternoon, he went for the training session, released the squad list, went home, got dressed, came back, and renewed his deal. Again, a 1-year extension with a 1-year option, and we are hearing that 1-year option will be automatically renewed if he does win the Champions League or the La Liga title. Now, Fernando Porto from Deportivo came out saying that at the club they speak really highly of Xavi's attitude and his renewal, who did not want to force a renewal until 2026, the year of the end of the Laporta's board's mandate. He knows that the results on the way of the team matters a lot, and he does not want to force anything beyond 2 years. Like, that's something to keep in mind as well. Laporta is up for election in 2026, so you don't want to, have anyone going too far there, because if God forbid, a new president comes in, he might want to bring in his own coach. So it's very important to remember that sense as well. But there is the renewal for Xavi completed, and you know what, of course, like I've been saying on the channel, it is the correct decision. I think he's earned the right to renew his deal after winning the double last season, but now we hope for more this season. So again, 1-year renewal, and the 1-year option is automatically extended if he wins the Champions League or the league. He does get a pay rise. I believe he goes from a salary of 2 million to a salary of 4 million to 8 million, and his staff go from a salary from I think 1.5 to around 4. So a well-deserved salary increase again compared to the other top managers in the world. He's one of the lowest earners. I think making that jump, of course, he sacrificed at the beginning, and now he's being compensated for that. Absolutely okay with it. But our manager, Siqueda, he will be staying at least until Laporta is up for election again. And the final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Lamine Yamal, which again is done but not official. Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona and Jorge Mendes are looking for a date to hold Lamine Yamal's contract renewal ceremony. It is already signed, of course. It is expected to be held at the beginning of October, most likely before Barcelona travel to Porto on the 4th, but of course is next week. So at some point next week, hopefully we'll get the renewal of Lamine Yamal. Hopefully it's not a ceremony, because I don't think it's not that it's not deserved, but I think it'll put way too much pressure on him. Hope it's just in the office, sign the contract, take some pictures and move on. I don't hope it's the same format of Alejandro Balde, where it's a big thing, they come out, hold the shirt. I think that puts way too much pressure on Lamine Yamal, and again, he's only 16. I don't think that's really the case. Now, more updates on Yamal's renewal. There are reports coming in saying the agreement for Lamine Yamal's renewal was not easy. Lamine Yamal's father wanted him to leave Barcelona, but Lamine Yamal's mother and Jorge Mendes wanted him to renew. So we have another father that's not a fan of Barcelona. First Ansu Fati, and now Lamine Yamal's father. I mean, hopefully now he changes his mind, since his son is playing very regularly at 16 for the first team of Football Club Barcelona. But again, these dads who are Madrid fans, they don't really help us out too much. But nonetheless, the renewal, of course, of Lamine Yamal is done, sealed, and delivered. There is already a pre-agreement as well when he turns 18 to extend his contract from 2026 until 2030 as well. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past few days. Firstly, we're going to be discussing the futures of both Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo, who over the past 2 weeks have now become absolutely crucial players for the first team of Barcelona. Now, a few days ago, they have done interviews with Mundo Deportivo on their move and all that stuff. I was gonna go through it, but it's just way too long, too many quotes. Cancelo talked about his family, how he wanted to leave Man City, how he didn't know that Barcelona wanted him in the previous January. Felix talked about how Xavi is coaching him, his future with Atletico Madrid, his relationship with Diego Simeone as well. Very in-depth interviews, and I think it's just too long and not real extra information that we do need in a news video. But we do have some updates in regards to their future at Barcelona. Now, firstly, on Felix specifically, Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that at Barcelona, they are amazed by Joao Felix's adaptation at the club. Beyond his excellent performance on the field of play, the dressing room has been impressed by his dedication and training, predisposition to learn all the concept, the intensity he puts in training, and involvement to adapt to what Xavi asked for. The dressing room has also liked his solidarity on the field and the celebrations of goal in which he's involved in the entire team, especially thanks to the assists like Rafinha versus Antwerp. So again, the Barcelona players are loving Joao Felix. He's performing well, but again, he's technically not a Barcelona player quite yet. Now, Fernando Polo from Deportivo has come out saying that Barcelona have already made the first inquiry on the possible prices for both Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo. This is gonna get tasty. At this time, Atletico Madrid would want around 80 million euros for Joao Felix, with 54 million of it yet to be amortized for them. Now, firstly on Felix, look, I said a few videos ago, I'd value right now Felix at around 70 million euros, of course, based on his age, wages, his current contract with Atletico Madrid. The fact that they're asking for 80, I think, isn't too bad, but that's 80 now. Imagine he keeps going, gets double figures in goals and assists, they might push that price up to 90. I think I wouldn't be upset if Barcelona tomorrow offered 70 million plus 10 in variables for Felix. The issue that I have is that 80 million, you know, you can get a world-class pivot with that price, not just an additional forward, you know what I mean? And I think the future of Ansu Fati as well will remain absolutely crucial. Now, with Joao Cancelo, Barcelona have received information that Man City will be satisfied with 25 million euros for Joao Cancelo. Fucking send the invoice tomorrow. Pay tomorrow, honestly. 25 million for one of the best, if not the best fullback in the world. Pay up. He's probably valued, I'd say, at like 60, and we're paying under half. Pay tomorrow. The club will only push them signing permanently if their loans will continue to be successful. So again, the club not rushing it. They want to see how they do that the whole entire season. With Cancelo, I'm almost certain that he'll end up becoming a Barcelona player. With Felix, though, that's where the question is. Of course, he's continuing his current form. Situation has to go his way as well. And Atletico's price and negotiation has to be within range. Because keep in mind, Barcelona next summer, they're going to want to invest in big areas, especially the pivot. You want to maybe look at the striker position if some offers come in for Lewandowski. Of course, you have Vitor Roque coming in. You have to look at the wings as well. You still have Rafinha, you have Ferran, you have Lamine Yamal, you have Ansu Fati coming back from loan as well. So I think Felix's situation is still a bit in the air, but Cancelo's is a bit more solid, and we have more confirmation of this from Deco, who spoke before the match yesterday at Celta Vigo, saying that we want to keep the Joaos if things go well. If there are still several months left, we must respect the rules of La Liga as well. So Deco here is essentially saying that if we had to decide tomorrow to keep both, we would, but again, the season's long, we'll wait and see how things develop, the prices, everything become a factor. So we'll wait and see. I think, again, Joao Cancelo is very, very close to be signing permanently, but I think Felix is the quick question mark. Do we need him? If Ansu Fati will do well at Brighton, the price that Atletico Madrid asked for as well. What are Barcelona's priorities? What are Xavi's priorities going into the market? Like, you asked Xavi, do you want to keep Felix or sign Zubamendi? That might be a question that the manager would, go the different way and go for Zubamendi. But if he goes for Felix, then of course, back to the manager. So we'll wait and see on their futures. I think, again, they'll become more concrete when the season go on. But I think you could say right now, Cancelo is almost guaranteed to be a Barcelona player on a permanent basis. But the question mark is around Joao Felix. Now, speaking about Ansu Fati, we do have some updates on Ansu Fati's current loan with Brighton. Of course, he's only played 2 matches, one against AEK Athens in the Europa League, and of course, Manchester United in the Premier League. Sport come out saying that Brighton are delighted with Ansu Fati's attitude from day one. He has arrived to add to the team, and the staff knows that he can be a very important player this season. From Brighton, they say that Fati has shown great humility since day one, with the hope of being important, very aware of the opportunity he has to recover his best level, and with the will to work to earn his desired minutes. The dressing room has welcomed him with open arms, and the city and fans have placed a lot of hope on him, and so have I. With Joao Felix right now being on absolute killer form, that just puts even more pressure, in my opinion, on Ansu Fati to perform. If he performs well, and so does Joao Felix, the club, the board, and Xavi have a monumental decision to make. Because again, they could sell Ansu Fati 50, 60 million, use that money to buy Joao Felix. So again, I think Barcelona do have the freedom here to choose which one they want. I don't think they can get both, but maybe they could if they do sell Rafinha or Varane, use that money to bring in Joao Felix. But again, if you sell Varane for 30, 40 million, that won't be enough to, you have to still invest double that as well to get Joao Felix. But a lot of if, buts, maybes. Again, we're still too early. We're not even in October yet, not even at the end of September yet either. But again, Ansu Fati impressing a lot internally during training sessions at Brighton, and hopes to get his chance soon, and of course, take it. Now, another player that is also impressing on the remote... Now, another player who is also impressing on their loan move is Alex Valle, who of course left on loan to Levante. Sport have come out saying that Alex Valle, who of course is on loan at Levante, has started all 5 matches for them and performed at a fairly high level. He has practically played all possible minutes so far this season. Before leaving, Valle spoke to Xavi, and the coach has him in his plans and counts on him for next season. If everything goes well and Valle continues at his level, he has a good chance of being part of the 24-25 season. Xavi trusts him, and he could be the one to compete with Balde in the left back position, and Boyan of course is in charge of following up and monitoring his situation at Levante. This is music to my ears, because that means that Barcelona do not have to invest in the left back position, of course, this summer. Bin off Alonso, don't even give him a farewell, and in the end, you already have an already made replacement. For me, this is brilliant, and again, that's money saved on a position that can be invested elsewhere, whether it's the pivot, Cancelo permanently, Joao Felix permanently, maybe somewhere else that the club do want to invest in. I think, again, this will be a beneficial operation for everyone. Let's hope that he performs well at Levante. Let's hope that Xavi does give him a chance, especially in pre-season. But again, Alex Valle impressing a lot at Levante, and Xavi and Barcelona have him in their plans as the coverage and competition for Alejandro Balde next season. Now, as we all know, La Masia pumps out gems every single season. Of course, last season, this season you could say it was Lamine Yamal. Last season was Balde. The season before that, it was Xavi. The season before that was Araujo. The season, Pedri as well, but we didn't buy him. He didn't come from La Masia. Season before that was Ansu Fati. And now this one for next season is already making the runarounds in the media, and his name is Gullie Fernandez. Sport came out saying that Gullie Fernandez, Barcelona's new jewel, at the age of 15, he becomes the second youngest player behind Lamine Yamal in the club's history to play in the Youth Champions League. The player has everything to be a star, and guess who his agent is? Jorge Mendes. Wow, am I surprised? Might as well rename this club Jorge Mendes FC. Bloody hell, how does he keep... I think Laporta tells him, hey, look, watch out for this player. He signs them, and that just guarantees renewals every single year at this point. But again, new La Masia gem coming through. Keep your eyes on him. I did watch him. I see some of his clips for the match against Royal Antwerp in the, of course, Youth Champions League. I saw some the clips of Noah Darvish as well. he looks very good. Looks very, very good. So again, we'll wait and see. He'll probably be in the first team, maybe pre-season next season. I don't think he'll make an appearance for the first team unless we have a catastrophic injury crisis. I think we'll probably see him this coming summer 24, where we go probably another US tour to earn some money. But again, another gem coming through, so keep your eyes on him. Now, we did touch upon the presidential election in 2026, and I think one of the main candidates that could take over Joao Laporta at any given point in the future is Gerard Piqué. Now, Franco Ross from Sport came out saying that Gerard Piqué is very comfortable with his new life and has not even considered going for the presidency quite yet. I do expect Joao Laporta to win the next presidency in 2026. I don't think anyone can come close, whether it's Tony Frazier, Victor Font. I think what Laporta has done, again, he's only made one mistake, and that is renewing Alonso. I think everything else has been absolutely correct. Of course, we're a bit concerned about the Abdi sale, but there is a buyback option there, which kind of saves that deal. Please, in the comments down below, besides the renewal of Alonso, tell me something that Laporta did that was incorrect. I honestly cannot think of one. Handled the Nogueira case to absolute perfection. Got us out from crisis. Has all these excellent players in the squad. Economic levers left, right, and center. Renews all the youngsters. He's done everything to absolute perfection, so I don't think he will lose the next election race. I think Piqué is a decent candidate to take over for him once Laporta wants to step down. Laporta wants to keep going and going and going. I don't think Piqué really has a chance unless Laporta does something catastrophically incorrect. But I do think, honestly, the next president after Laporta will be Piqué. I think it's probably around mid-30s to late 30s, like 2035 to maybe 2040-ish, somewhere around there. I think Laporta will hopefully be the president from now until at least 2030, but we'll wait and see. I think Piqué at some point in the future will be the Barcelona president, just not imminently. Now, one of Piqué's main expertise, if he did run, of course, for the Barcelona president, would be in marketing, but Barcelona are moving on a mad one, and they have done a collab along with Nike and Patta, where they have released new shoes and a new collaboration shirt as well. Now, the shoes were leaked a few weeks ago, and I tell you what, you can see them there on the right hand side. They're fire. I am probably going to buy it. But the kit, lads, I need you to help me down in the comments below. Let me know if I should get it or not. I honestly think it looks absolutely shite. I mean, it looks dreadful. I might just get it just for collection sake. But if it's expensive, I don't know. You guys gotta let me down in the comments down below if it's worth getting or not. The shoes, I'm hoping they're under $300, 300 euros. But if they're over, I don't think I can afford them. If they're under, same around there, I'm probably going to cop it. And we're hearing the jersey is going to be around $75, which is actually very cheap for a jersey. Usually the Barcelona first kits go around 110 US dollars, but this was going to go for 75, so it's a bit cheaper than the normal kit, but my god, is it hideous. Let me know in the comments down below if I should get that or not, but the shoes look absolutely fuego. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to the team chemistry around the first team at Barcelona, where Antonio Juan Martínez come out saying that from the Barcelona dressing room, they say that the internal competition is currently fierce than ever. The atmosphere in the dressing room is absolutely healthy and magnificent. The young players want to listen and learn from the experienced players. The coaches will distribute the minutes of the players because they want everyone to be ready when needed. More rotation can be seen in the upcoming matches. I mean, Xavi's not really the best at rotation. Hopefully he does improve in that sense, but again, there's a lot of healthy competition in the first team. They're very happy. Again, we talked about the chemistry a few videos ago, how there used to be a lot of cults in the first team, and now everyone sits together and everyone's, mates with everyone else, and that's the atmosphere that you want. Of course, that was probably Xavi's main advantage. His main priority coming in was to make it a more family environment. He has done that. We see players celebrate together that you don't really think would celebrate together. You see players hanging out outside of Barcelona that you don't really think would hang out if you just judge it based on where they're from and their kind of status, you could say, at Barcelona. So it's absolutely fantastic to hear, but again, we want to see that on the pitch. We want to see results, and most importantly, we want to see trophies. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few days. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing, firstly, of course, is your thoughts on the transfer of Arthur Vermeeren. Would you want to sign him or not, and what would your thought be on his price tag? Would you pay the current rumored fee of 20-30 million euros? Would you pay that? Go under it. Second, your thoughts on the permanent move of both Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo. Would you make your decision now? Do you think you would just get Cancelo now? Would you pay the money for Felix? How much would you pay for Felix? How much would you pay for Cancelo? Third, your thoughts on the renewal of Alejandro, Balde, and Xavi. And finally, your thoughts on the huge injury blows of both Vitor Roque and also Frenkie de Jong as well. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.